Hey guys, welcome to my class Python for Beginners. This is lecture number 4 or 3B, and today we're going to continue on the topic of variables, expressions and statements. So guys, without wasting much time, let's just dig right in. So the first topic today is evaluating expressions. So an expression is a combination of values, variables, and operators. If you type an expression on the command line, the interpreter evaluates it and displays the result. For example, I'll just launch the idle shell for you, or the Python shell. Okay, so if you type in 1 plus 1 here, it evaluates 1 plus 1 as 2 and types the value 2. The evaluation of an expression produces a value, which is why expressions can appear on the right hand side of assignment statements. So you can have something like x is 1 plus 2. So if you say print x, this is 3. Or you can have y equals 3, then x is equal to y plus 2. The prize is for guessing what the output would be when you print x. Sorry guys, it's 5 because y is 3, x is y plus 2, so x is 5. Now really you can have something that reads like x is equal to x plus 4. What does this mean? Well, it's nothing really, because the expression on the right hand side of the assignment statement is evaluated first. So x is 5 currently, because just one step above you did a print x and x was 5. So now you do an x plus 4, that is 5 plus 4 equals to 9, and you assign that value to x. So x is nothing but 5 plus 4. So if you do a print x, x is 9. Okay. A value all by itself is a simple expression. Say you have a value 17. That's an expression in itself. You say x, that's an expression in itself. It's just 9. In a script though, an expression all by itself is a legal statement but doesn't do anything. It only does something when you run it on the Python shell. For example, let me open a new file here. I'll save it as let's say a 4th file. Okay, so if you do a 7 type 17 here, 3.2, do a 3 rather, and let's say you say hello world there, or 1 plus 1, and you run it, and nothing happens because it's legal but doesn't do anything. But if you want to print these things, you say print 17, or print 2.3, or print hello world, print 1 plus 1. Now we see all these 4 things. So the next topic guys today is operators and operands. So you've seen one kind of an operator, or rather 2 kinds. There's 1 plus 1, where 1 is the addition operator, and we also wrote the multiply function in our previous lectures, that we're using the multiplication operator. So plus, add, divide, subtract, these are the operators available for us. In fact, there are a few other operators as well. Operators are special symbols that represent computations like additions and multiplications. The values the operator uses are called operands. So in your shell, if you say print 2 plus 3, the operator is the plus operator, and the operands are 2 and 3. Or you can also say print x plus y, where x and y are the operands now. You can also do something like x double asterisk y. Double asterisk means raised to the power. So this is x raised to the power y. So you can have 2 raised to the power 3, which is 8. So you can have things like x minus 1, x plus 5, x star star 5, and then x 5 5. To divide, the symbols plus minus, forward slash, and the use of parenthesis for grouping are all the kinds of operators and operands we have. So especially take example of an expression like this: 5 plus 9 parenthesis in the parenthesis into 15 minus 7. What is this? This is 112. So parenthesis dictates which operation is going to take precedence over which operation. So it says do the 5 and 9, add the 5 and 9 and multiply it with the subtraction of 15 and 7, which is 112. So when a variable name appears in the place of an operand, like we did x plus y, it is replaced with its value before the operation is performed. Though addition, subtraction, multiplication and exponentiation, the double asterisks, all do what you expect, but you might be surprised by division. Take note of the following. Let's say you say minute equals 59, and now you do a minute divided by 60. Surprisingly, it is 0, whereas if you actually do it in the calculator, 59 over 60 is 0.9833. So why does this happen? Because Python division, integer division, is always rounded down. So 0.983 rounded down is 0. If you want the precision, what you can do is tell Python that you actually want to do precise calculations. So use floating point numbers instead of integers. So the minute divided by 60.0 is 0.9833. You can also do stuff like 5.0 divided by 3, it is 1.666, but 5 by 3 itself is 1. Now guys, let's think about the order of operations. So when more than one operator appears in an expression, the order of evaluation depends on the rules of precedence. Python follows the same precedence rules for its mathematical operators that mathematics does. The acronym PEMDAS or BODMAS is a usual way to remember the order of operation. Parentheses have the highest precedence and can be used to force an expression to evaluate in the order you want. Since expressions in parentheses are evaluated first, something like 2 into 3 minus 1 is 2 times 2, which is 4. And something like 1 plus 1 double asterisk 5 minus 2 is 2 to the power 3, which is 8. You can also use parentheses to make an expression easier to read. Something like x plus 5 divided by y. Instead of writing something like x plus y plus 5 divided by y. In this case, 5 will be divided by y. This quantity will be added to x. This is, we add 5 to x and then divide the whole thing by y. So after parenthesis, exponentiation has the next precedence. So 2 double star 1 plus 1 is 3 and not 2 double star 2, which would be 4. If you want to double star 2, you would actually want to do something like this. Multiplication and division have the next higher precedence, followed by addition and subtraction. So guys, this all follows from the PEMDAS or the BODMAS rule. Okay, so operators with the same precedence are evaluated from left to right. So like multiplication and division have the same precedence, and addition and subtraction have the same precedence, so they are evaluated from left to right. So let's say you have a expression which says minute times 100 divided by 60. So here the multiplication happens first, since it is left to right. Minute into 100, minute was 59, 5900 divided by 60, it comes out to be 98, and not something like 100 divided by 60, which would have been 1, and then you multiply it with minute, which would have been 59 itself. Let's just assure ourselves this is exactly what we think, and there it goes. Okay, so next thing guys is I'll talk a little bit about input. Well, I told you about input, right? If you want an input from the user, let's clean up our script file. We wrote something like n is equal to raw input. Please enter your name and then print the name. So please enter your name. My name is Amit. It prints my name, Amit. Okay. And then we can have something like please enter an expression. And I put a \n towards here, and the \n will take me to a new line. So if I say please enter an expression, then a new line. So I get to enter my expression in a new line. Let's see what happens here. And I say 2 into 3 plus 4. So this is 2 times 3, 6 plus 4. And it says 2 times 3 plus 4. Because the input we give is not in the form of a mathematical expression, but it is in the form of a string. So the input you provide is in the form of a string. So you might probably want to do something like a eval and please enter an expression. I wanted 3 plus 4 is 10, but I'll teach you about eval later. Okay, so let's come to composition. Well, one of the most useful features of programming languages is their ability to take small building blocks and compose them. For example, we know how to add numbers and we know how to print. It turns out we can do both at the same time. So in your shell, you can actually do something like print 2 times 3 plus 4. It's 11. In reality, the addition has to happen, or rather the multiplication has to happen and then the addition. So basically the evaluation of the expression has to happen before the printing. So the actions aren't actually happening at the same time. The point is that any expression involving numbers, strings and variables can be used inside a print statement. We have already seen an example of this, remember? When we said print 1, 700 or I was probably 17 comma 100, I don't remember such, but it's something like this we have talked, right? Let's print 17 and a 0. When we wanted to print 17k, I put a comma. Similarly, you can do something like print 2 times 3 plus 5 comma 3 times 4. So it'll print 11 and 12, both of them. Okay. So in an assignment statement, another thing I just want to tell you is that in an assignment statement, you can put an arbitrary expression on the right side. So x could be y plus 2 times y, sorry about that, plus 4 to the power 5, and something complicated, blah blah blah. So this is all valid, but there are limits on where you can use certain expressions. For example, the left hand side of an assignment statement has to be a variable name and not an expression. So you can't say 2 plus 3 equals x. That's an error. You can't assign something to an operator. The same thing, I try to assign Amit to a name that it threw an error. Same as that. So the last topic from this is comments. Well, comments, as programs get bigger and more complicated, they're difficult to read. And for this reason, it is a good idea to add notes to your program to explain in natural language what the program is doing. These notes are called comments and they are marked with the pound symbol. So you can say something like this. Okay, in our script, let's say wants to print hello world, print hello world. So a person who doesn't understand what print hello world does, you put a comment above it saying I want to print hello world. You can have multi-line comments. You can say blah blah, and if you say F5, it says hello world. But the comments don't actually matter in producing an output. It just improves your readability, and you might want to add some notes to your program for future reference or something. That's why comments are useful. Everything from the pound symbol to the end of the line is ignored. It has no effect on the program. The message is intended for the programmer or for future programmers who might use this code. In this case, it reminds the reader that you want to print a hello world towards the end. So guys, that's probably about it for today, and I'll see you next class. We'll be covering functions in our next class. So see you around, guys.